Hey everyone, and welcome to our beginner's tour of Python. If you've ever been the slightest bit curious about coding, you have landed in exactly the right place. We're going to pull back the curtain on one of the most popular and powerful programming languages on the entire planet.
You know, everything in the digital world really boils down to this one simple question. How in the world do we get this amazing box of wires and circuits, whether it's your laptop or your phone, to actually do the things we want it to do?
Well, the answer, of course, is programming. And honestly, the best way to think about it is just like any other language. I mean, instead of learning Spanish to talk to a person in Madrid, we're learning a programming language to talk to a computer. It's all about communication.
So out of all the different computer languages out there, why are we talking about Python? What's the big deal? Let's get into it.
This right here, this is Python's superpower. The code is actually designed to be clean, readable, and a lot of the time, it looks just like simple English sentences. That means the barrier to getting started is way lower, so you can spend less time fighting with confusing symbols and more time actually building cool stuff.
And it is absolutely packed with features that make it so popular. It's easy to get the hang of, which means you can build things faster. It's completely free and open source. It's what we call a high-level language, which basically means you can just write something simple like print hello instead of having to deal with the messy, low-level details of the computer's memory. Your code works everywhere. Windows, Mac, Linux, and you know what? It's just genuinely fun to work with.
Okay, let's pop the hood and see what's inside. Every single Python program, from the simplest script to the most complex application, is built from just a few core ingredients. First thing you need to know about is a variable. The easiest way to picture a variable is to think of it as a labeled box. You give the box a name, say player_score, and then you put something inside it, like the number 30. From then on, anytime you need that number, you just call the box by its name. Simple as that. Now these boxes are built to hold different kinds of stuff. We call these data types. For instance, you can store a whole number, which we call an integer, perfect for a player's age. You can store text, which we call a string, like for a username. Or you can store a simple true or false value, known as a Boolean, which is great for tracking things like, has the player completed the level yet?
So you've got your data sitting in these nice little variable boxes. How do you actually do anything with it? Well, that's where operators come in. Think of them as the action words, the verbs of your code. You can use an arithmetic operator, like the plus sign, to add points to a score. And then you can use a comparison operator, like the greater than sign, to check if that new score is now higher than the old high score.
Okay, storing one piece of data is great, but let's be real. Most programs have to deal with big collections of items. So how does Python handle that? Let's take a look at its data structures. Python gives you some really powerful ways to do this. Two of the most common are lists and tuples. A list is like your shopping list. You can add items, remove items, change things around. It's flexible. A tuple, on the other hand, is more like a set of coordinates on a map. It's a fixed collection of items that you set once and don't change. It's permanent.
Two other incredibly useful tools are dictionaries and sets. A dictionary is perfect for storing related information. Think of it like your phone's contact list. You have a key, like name, and a value, Alice. Then another key, email, with the value, alice@example.com. A set is even simpler. Its one and only job is to store a bunch of unique items. No duplicates allowed. It's perfect if you wanted to track, say, all the unique visitors to a website, because it won't count the same person twice.
All right, so we've got our ingredients, and we've got ways to organize them. Now it's time to add the brains of the operation, the logic that lets your code actually think and make decisions. And we do this with conditional statements, usually an if-else block. This lets your program ask a question and then react based on the answer. For example, if the password is correct, then log the user in, else show an error message. This is the fundamental way that programs make choices. But what if you need to do something 100 times? You're not going to write the code 100 times. No way. That's where loops come in, and they are an absolute lifesaver. The logic is just a simple cycle. First, check if a condition is true. If it is, run some code. Then, go right back to the beginning and do it all over again, until the condition is finally false. It's the core of all automation. Now that we've got the fundamentals down, let's look at a couple of concepts that really truly unlock Python's potential. Think of these as your programming superpowers. First up, we have functions. Imagine you have a chunk of code you need to use all the time, maybe for calculating sales tax. Instead of copying and pasting it everywhere, you just wrap it up in a function.
It's like creating your own custom tool or your own personal recipe that you can use again and again. It keeps your code so much cleaner and easier to manage.
And this leads to one of the biggest, most powerful ideas in all of programming: classes. The idea is simple but profound. A class is a blueprint for creating things. So you could design a car blueprint. In that blueprint, you'd say that all cars must have a color and a speed, and that they should be able to accelerate and brake. Then from that one single blueprint, you can create thousands of individual car objects, each with its own unique color and its own current speed.
So we've seen the ingredients, we've seen the logic, we've seen the blueprints. What does all of this actually let you build? What's the payoff?
Well, you can combine all these little pieces to create something really fun and tangible. By using variables to keep score, conditional logic to figure out who wins each round, and a loop to keep the game going, you can build a classic game like Snake, Water, Gun. It's the perfect kind of first project to see how everything fits together.
But the ceiling with Python is incredibly high. Once you get comfortable with concepts like functions and classes, you can tackle some seriously ambitious projects. You could build your very own voice-activated AI assistant, one that can surf the web for you, control your music, and automate tasks, all powered by the exact same fundamental building blocks we just talked about.
So, there you have it. From a simple little variable all the way to a complex AI, you've now seen the fundamental pieces of the Python puzzle. The only question left is, what are you going to create?